Please leave a like and subscribe for more of our content and notifications for new videos. Now, what makes a military empire powerful? Is it their numbers, their strategy, or perhaps something else entirely? As we travel through the pages of history, we often stumble upon tales of great empires, their rise, their glory, and their eventual decline. But what is it that truly defines an empire? Is it the massiveness of their armies, the ingenuity of their tactics, or is it the indomitable spirit of their leaders? Today we shall delve into the chronicles of three of the most unforgettable military empires in history. The Roman Empire, celebrated for its revolutionary professional army; the Mongol Empire, acclamated for their mobility and surprise tactics; and the British Empire, famed as the empire where the sun sets. Come along as we unearth the captivating history of these powerful empires. First on our list is the Roman Empire, a force that transformed the art of war. Rising from a small city-state on the Italian peninsula around the 8th century BC, Rome grew into an empire that spanned the known world, from Britain to North Africa, from Spain to the Middle East. A keystone to this expansion was the creation of one of the first professional armies. Early Roman armies were formed on an ad hoc basis, drawn from citizens to defend the city or undertake short campaigns. However, as Rome's ambitions grew, so did its military needs. The Marian reforms of the late 2nd century BC marked a pivotal shift, transitioning Rome's forces into a full-time professional army. Soldiers were now paid regular wages, equipped by the state, and trained in the art of war. This professionalization created an army that was disciplined, mobile, and prepared to fight anywhere, anytime. The Romans are also renowned for their military structure. The basic unit, the legion, was comprised of around 5,000 men, divided into centuries of 80 men, each led by a centurion. This hierarchical structure allowed for flexibility on the battlefield, with each unit able to maneuver independently if required, but also capable of forming larger formations for maximum impact. Innovation was another hallmark of the Roman military. They were masters of siege warfare, employing a variety of weaponry such as catapults, ballistae, and battering rams. They also developed tactics like the famous testudo, or tortoise formation, where soldiers would align their shields to form a protective shell against enemy projectiles. Yet, it wasn't just about brute force. The Romans understood the value of infrastructure. They built roads and forts to secure their conquests, enabling rapid reinforcement and resupply of their armies. They also understood the power of psychological warfare, using their reputation for discipline and ruthlessness to demoralize their enemies. The Roman Empire, with its disciplined and innovative military, truly set the standard for future empires. Their legacy can still be seen today in military structures, tactics, and even the very concept of a professional army. Next we travel to the steppes of Central Asia, where the Mongol Empire reigned supreme. In the late 12th century, a visionary leader named Temujin united the nomadic tribes of Mongolia. Crowned as Genghis Khan, meaning universal ruler, he embarked on a campaign of expansion that would forge one of the most formidable empires in history. The Mongol Empire, while not as long-lasting as some, left an indelible mark on the annals of military history. Its success was largely due to its unique military strategies, characterized by unprecedented mobility and the masterful use of surprise. The Mongols were a nation of horsemen. From a young age, Mongol children were taught to ride and shoot with precision, their arrows capable of piercing armor at impressive distances. These highly mobile horse archers, combined with the Mongols' deep understanding of the terrain, formed a lethal fighting force that could strike swiftly and unexpectedly, leaving their enemies little time to mount a defense. This mobility also allowed the Mongols to cover vast distances quickly. They could ride for days without rest, living off their horses if necessary. This endurance and speed were key in their ability to conquer such a large area in a relatively short period. Their surprise tactics were just as crucial. Often they would feign retreat, luring their enemies into a false sense of security, only to turn back and launch a devastating counterattack. They also employed psychological warfare, spreading fear and panic to demoralize their adversaries before the battle even began. The Mongol Empire, at its peak, stretched from Eastern Europe to the Sea of Japan, covering nearly a quarter of the world's land area. It included diverse territories such as China, Persia, and Russia, showcasing the Mongols' extraordinary military prowess. With their unparalleled mobility and element of surprise, the Mongols carved out one of the largest land empires in history. Finally, we turn to the British Empire, an empire so vast that it was said the sun never set on it. An apt phrase considering at its zenith, the British Empire spanned across every continent, making it the largest empire in history by landmass, covering over 23% of the world's land. The seeds of this expansive empire were sown in the late 16th century, with the establishment of overseas colonies in the Americas and the Caribbean. The British Empire was not formed overnight. It was a product of centuries of exploration, conquest, and colonization. A significant part of this expansion was possible due to the strategic use of its military force. The British military was a well-oiled machine, with a hierarchical structure that was strictly adhered to. At the top was the monarch, followed by the Secretary of State for War, and beneath them, the Army Board. This structure ensured smooth communication and decision-making, proving instrumental in the empire's military successes. However, the true jewel in the British Empire's military crown was its Royal Navy. Often referred to as the Wooden Wall, the British Navy was a force to be reckoned with. It was the most powerful navy in the world, not just in terms of the size of its fleet, but also its technological superiority and strategic prowess. This dominance at sea allowed Britain to control crucial trade routes, aiding economic prosperity and facilitating further expansion. Key battles such as the Battle of Trafalgar in 1805, where the British Navy led by Admiral Nelson defeated the combined French and Spanish fleets, reinforced British naval supremacy. This victory prevented Napoleon's invasion of Britain and preserved the empire's global trade routes. The British Empire was also quick to harness the power of technological advancements. The advent of the Industrial Revolution in the 18th century provided Britain with a technological edge. Innovations such as the steam engine and the telegraph not only revolutionized trade and communication but also transformed military operations. The empire could now transport troops and supplies more quickly and communicate orders across vast distances almost instantaneously. In essence, the British Empire's military might was not just about the number of soldiers or the size of its navy. It was about strategic planning, technological advancements, and a well-structured military hierarchy. It was these elements, combined with an insatiable desire for expansion, that allowed the British Empire to cast a shadow over the globe for over 3 centuries. The British Empire's dominance at sea and its technological prowess helped it to establish one of the most extensive empires in history. From the disciplined legions of Rome to the mobile hordes of the Mongols and the unstoppable navy of the British, each of these empires had unique strengths that contributed to their power. The Roman Empire, a paragon of discipline and organization, taught us the value of a professional, well-trained army. Their meticulously planned strategies and structures, from their military roads to their fortified encampments, were testament to their unwavering commitment to military excellence. We saw how they transformed a city-state into a world power that would stand for over 1,000 years. We then rode with the Mongols, masters of mobility and surprise. Their ability to adapt to diverse terrains and weather conditions, and their exceptional horse riding and archery skills, allowed them to conquer vast territories at an astonishing pace. Their empire, though relatively short-lived, was the largest contiguous land empire in history, a feat that underscores the potency of speed and adaptability in warfare. Finally, we sailed with the British, whose formidable navy ruled the waves, connecting and controlling territories across the globe. Their use of technology, particularly in shipbuilding and navigation, propelled them to heights of power unseen before. They epitomized the age-old adage, "He who rules the sea, rules the world," and demonstrated the far-reaching impacts of naval supremacy. These historical behemoths, each in their unique way, have shaped the world we live in today. They've influenced our laws, our cultures, even our languages. And while their military strategies have evolved over time, their lessons remain timeless. They remind us of the power of innovation, the importance of discipline, and the value of adaptability. These empires may have fallen, but their legacies live on, reminding us of the power and the price of military might.